I was just going to have this happen. The coaches have you guys check in, then go over the overview in the next step. I'm actually going to rearrange this. I'm going to do the coaching overview first, because that's the new information and why I put it in the PD portal for you guys to get PD credit for this meeting. And then we'll do the coaches check in and talk about the next steps. Sound like a deal? If your chat pod's not open, you can click the chat on top of the participants list and until it's blue. And then you want to send it to everyone instead of sending it just to me. So make sure the send to box says everyone. I see a couple more people jumping in here. Thank you. So I'm going to skip this and come back to it, but go ahead and let you, thank you, Denise, let you click and see what, hi. Somebody just came in loudly. What was that? I forgot to do? I'm going to do this. Got something very important. Participant, mute on entry and no entry and exit tone. Okay. Funny, I'm talking with Anne Marie about and Alicia. I'm going to go ahead and put you on mute just because there's so many of us in the room. If you have a question, you want to say something, then just go ahead and unmute yourself. So you're not restricted from talking. I just want to keep the background noise down for everybody. At least I'm not at my house with the dogs barking this time. Every time. They wait for me to get on there. So as I'm going to skip this and come back to it, but this is what I want you to think about. Where are you on the courses in the tech integration pathway? What has been your favorite task so far? What has been your least favorite task so far? What is your biggest challenge besides time? And what is your greatest success? We're going to come back to that. I'll give you 3 seconds to read those for yourself, just in case I read those too fast. But the main thing that I wanted to talk about today, well, is what we're moving toward, and that is the tech integration. What exactly does a tech integration coach do exactly? So let me hear from you. Just you can either raise your hand or just unmute yourself. What is it that you think a tech coach does? You can write it in chat, or you can unmute yourself. What do you think a tech coach does? Oh, Ashley says helps teachers learn how to integrate tech into instruction on purpose. David says supports teachers' use of technology to enhance or drive curriculum. Okay, those are good. Naomi says help others adapt to new technology that will improve instruction, learning, or function. Good. Those are all really good. So I'm going to tell you what I think a tech coach does, and that's ask the right questions. So we're going to start with that. To that end, oh, and Tiffany said help instructors integrate, I have to bring it up here now, integrate technology into their lesson plans as well as support them. Alicia, I think that the tech integration coach helps other instructors to incorporate technology into their teaching strategies. And that's exactly what our end goal is. The tech coach provides support to teachers with technology. Those are all really good answers. So, but one of the big things is we have to think about how we do that. So if you have not noticed, what you've been working through in Apprentice 1 and Apprentice 2 were aligned with the ISTE standards for students. Some of you are now in the journeyman. The journeyman levels are aligned with the standards for educators. So the ISTE standards for students, what students should be able to do. I like to ask in question statements that it is in line with good coaching in general. Exactly, it's general coaching standard. And then the last one that we're going to be doing, which will be the professional levels, we're going to actually looking at the standards for coaches. So you can go to ISTE and download these standards. I want you to be very familiar with them. I think using this laptop, I may not be able to get the file open, but I can show them to you in a bit. And there's all that. Okay. So these are adult education standards, and so even though we're looking at the standards for students and educators and coaches, we have to keep them aligned also with our Texas Adult Education and Literacy Content Standards. So one of the things that we do as coaches is bring up the standards over and over and over and over again. Because standards-based instruction is going to help us get our students, our end user students, better outcomes. So this is a great book, and we do have copies of it in the library. It's Instructional Coaching, a Partnership Approach to Improving Instruction by Jim Knight. And he basically has these three pieces of the cycle. Identify what you want to change, learn how to change it, and then make the improvement. And then go back and identify what you want to change. And so this coaching cycle, as the coach comes in, helps the person identify what it is that they want to do, and then they figure out how are they going to learn the skill or task that they need to do, and then give them feedback on how they could improve it even more. Has anybody read this book? Or any of Jim Knight's books? Not yet? Those of you who are in administration, no. I would really recommend, yeah, there you go, David. It was a text in his master's class. I would really recommend anybody in administration to check out these books because they are helpful not just with tech coaching, of course, but with coaching in general. I was going to show you a couple of videos on YouTube of really bad coaching, but I figured all of us have been in a really bad coaching scenario at some point that we know what it should not look like. So I decided not to do that. But there are plenty of examples on the internet, on YouTube, if you want to see what bad coaching looks like. Fifth time you've heard about it, take a hint. Yes, it's a really good book. And then this is a model that I really like. So there should be a dialogue going on between the teacher and the coach. This isn't me telling you what to do. This is just like everybody. Who was it I was listening to? Oh, it was Bill Gates. Bill Gates was giving a speech, and he said, everybody needs a coach. It's a TED Talk that he did. I may have put it in here after all because it was so good. And he said, and we it doesn't matter if you're Tiger Woods golfing, Tiger Woods has a coach. His coach is not necessarily better than he is at golfing, or he would probably be going for the green jacket instead of coaching. But everybody needs a coach. And teachers, a lot of times, especially in adult education, we kind of throw them to the wolves, and we don't give them help to see where they can improve. So the coach and the teacher should have a constant dialogue. And one thing both the coach and the teacher should be looking at is data. Now, what kinds of data am I talking about here? I'm sorry? Yeah. Okay, that's okay. Okay, student scores would be one. What else? Guide the user in utilizing technology is one of the coach jobs. Student data, and you know, like I said, we do have some copies of this book in the library, so if you just want to read it to see if you want it for your shelf, check it out and then go back in it. Data in teams, retention scores, retention statistics, progress on assessment, and I think also, you know, that's all hard data, but also having the teacher or guiding teachers into keeping notes on their lesson plans. Like I have on the bottom of my lesson plan template that I use, I have a page for notes. And I try to scribble down at the end of the lesson what went well, what didn't go well, so I can adjust accordingly. Reflection notes, exactly. And assessment data, whether it's formative that you're doing along the way or summative at the end, those kinds of data might be interesting. Because what we really want to do, the only reason that we're doing this at all is so that we improve student outcomes. There's not really a whole lot of reason to do it just as an exercise. If we're not impacting how the students are doing, then you know, we might as well just stop there, stop wasting everybody's time. But that's why coaching is so important, because it has the, research-wise, it has the most impact in the classroom when you have a coach working with a teacher. Any questions, comments on that model? So here we have the identify, learn, and improve. And here we have the teacher and coach in dialogue looking at the data, and the data is reflecting the student outcomes. Student outcomes are reflected in the data. That's why it's a two-way. So the next thing I want you to do, well, I did bring the TED Talk here. So, problem is, if I try to show you this TED Talk inside of WebEx, I'm going to play it. Hopefully it'll be loud enough you can hear. Let me know if you can hear this. If not, I'm going to send you to see it and then have you come back. Just watch the first 5 minutes and then come back. But let's see if you can hear it first. All right, somebody tell me if you can hear it. Everyone needs to focus. Doesn't matter whether you're... Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to give you the link. Fortunately, I did think to put the link in the webinar. Remember, we're tech coaches. You always have a plan B, C, D, F, G. I'm going to put that in the chat. Yeah, let me copy it. Just watch the first 5 minutes or so and then come back. Post in the chat when you're back, please. Okay, I'm sorry, it was actually 4 minutes, 1 second. So when you get to 4 minutes, 1 second, come on back. Alicia's already back. And if you can't find your way back, look for the green and white ball at the bottom of your screen. Or if you're on a Mac, God bless you, probably at the top somewhere.
Yeah.
There's Krista. Krista, I got a gift for you. I got to get it in the mail to you. Thank you, Tiffany. Okay, so before I go back to sharing my screen, so do you have any takeaways from that little 4 minutes of that speech? Those few 4 minutes?
Denise gave a good one up there, our system.
The statistics that he is providing is definitely a sign that our educational system needs to change. And it needs to change not only at the K-12, he was specifically, Bill and Melinda Gates have always supported K-12, but they've also funneled a lot of money into adult education. Project IDEA, English Forward, they put a lot of that into adult education as well. And I think we get less feedback than the K-12 people do. A lot of us work on sites where we don't even see our other teachers or get a chance to talk to them. Yeah, we do need, Naomi, we need to do a systematic way of helping teachers improve. Young teachers watching master teachers. Yeah, I like that. I think it's important to observe a teacher a couple of times. I know one program requires that their new teachers observe 2 classes before they actually start teaching. Weekly study groups, those learning networks for teachers, those PLCs, those are a good idea too. We need to follow up with them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can't expect our students to be supported by our teachers if we're not supporting the teachers to do their best. Yeah, you, Tiffany, that's good. We require new teachers, Tiffany says, we require new teachers to do observation before they start into the classroom.
Y'all are rock stars.
Yeah. And also that peer review piece, and that he mentioned very briefly, but I've seen a lot of good research done on that peer review where you send a substitute into the classroom once in a while so that a teacher can go observe another teacher, it's different when your administrator comes and is evaluating you or observing you, but where the teacher goes into the other classroom to say, what can I gain from this teacher? Not necessarily what can she give me, but what can I gain from her or him? And you get more well-rounded teachers because they see a lot of different techniques that maybe they hadn't thought of. Great. Okay, I'm going back to the PowerPoint. Olga's asking me about the PowerPoint. I was just talking, listening to y'all. Share my screen. All right, back to PowerPoint. All right, so this is how to do that dialogue. So there are some important principles in the Jim Knight book that I think we need to keep in mind when we're dealing with coaching people. Yes, Kimberly says peer observation definitely works, and it's a win-win. Cheryl Smith, we have biweekly meetings and go over students and lesson plans. Yay! That is a great thing. Okay. I taught a class I wasn't very good with at college. I found the best one and was ranked with the semester. Wait a minute, I want to see the rest of that comment. It disappeared off my board too fast. It changed everything. Yeah. I think being able to meet with your colleagues, most of the programs that I've worked with, if there was another teacher on site, it was a blessing, but usually it was just me on that site. There'd be 1 or 2 of us. And so you didn't get the opportunity to sit down and really work with your other teachers. That's why when I do trainings, if you've noticed, a lot of times I kind of facilitate discussions and back off because I really want teachers to have the opportunity to learn from one another. Yeah, and we have to think of ways that we can make that happen, even if it's a WebEx or a Zoom or whatever you want to do, getting them all together in one place. Somebody, Netflix. Yeah, I love Netflix. Why am I showing this as private? Okay, see on the send to button right above the chat area where you write, it says send to, it should say everyone, Vicki. Otherwise, it's just coming to me. So, and I think it's
Good
also,
coaching moment.
uh-huh.
Sorry.
All right,
There you go.
you got it.
You coach.
Okay, so, here's what Jim Knight suggests. The first thing that you have to do is you have to realize that coaching is a partnership. And so you have to assume equality. You're not doing a hierarchy, I'm better than you. You're coming in alongside and saying, how can I make you better? How can I help? The second one, honestly, is the hardest one for me. Listen authentically and completely. I am working on my listening skills. Not my strong suit. Anybody with me? Anybody else need to work on their listening skills? Ashley, yes. Olga, Vicki. I think listening is so much harder than speaking. And when I say listen authentically, you're listening, you're not forming what you're going to say, you're actually repeating the words the person is saying in your head, and then waiting until they finish before you start talking with them, and really trying to understand their point of view, not just trying to sell your point of view. I think that was one of the biggest things. Being present is difficult, yes. One of the coaching techniques that I have learned is to repeat in my head everything the person is saying so that I don't get sidetracked. And, you know, if you're a little bit ADD, it doesn't take much. Just the sound of the air conditioning coming on and off is enough to throw you off completely. Not just listening, but learning how to take in different opinions. That's going to be down there at respect. But exactly, in order to respect that opinion, you first have to hear it with an open mind. A rock on my desk that said, be present. Oh, that's good. It's, you see how ADD I am? So on the way to work this morning, I got over because there was an ambulance coming up behind me, and it made the person behind me mad. I guess she didn't see it, and she whipped out, almost hit the ambulance, and then she ended up pulling up in front of me after the ambulance went by, and she had one of those mindfulness stickers on the back of her car, and all I could think of is you need to be mindful of where the ambulance is with the sirens on when you're driving down the road. So be present. Has to be more than a mantra. You have to actually practice it, and it's very difficult. Okay, so we're going to do it a partnership. We're going to assume that this is a teacher who has a lot of skills and passion for what we're doing, because if we're in adult ed, you're not here for money. And then we're going to listen authentically to what the teacher's concerns are or what they want to change. And here's another one that can be hard for me. Acknowledge you may not be right. You know, they're agreeing with you or not agreeing with you does not invalidate your opinion. That's something I had to learn a long time ago, because I would get yelled at by Mom because I didn't use the same laundry soap as she did. Because my using a different laundry soap affected her negatively. It made her think that her opinion, it challenged her opinion of laundry soap. So I'm just using that as an example that sometimes we take somebody having a disagreement with us as being a challenge to our opinion. We're allowed to have differing opinions. That's that respect differences of opinion, the next one down. What are you going to say, Tracy?
Well, it could be that she thought you were challenging her wisdom as your mother.
I'm always challenging her wisdom as
you
her
know,
mother, but
yeah.
it's not just me. It's anybody who disagrees with me, with the way she does something. And there are more than one way to do most things.
Really, it's true.
And so acknowledging, well, you know, you may be right, but the person may also be right. Or you may be wrong. I have been wrong many times. I'm sure that's not the last time. Did I miss anything in chat? Let's see. Ashley, I think that's true as a teacher teaching adults as well. Yeah, I think it goes not beyond. We're actually coaching our students most of the time. We're not really teaching a lot of the time. We're coaching them how to become lifelong learners. And it's the same thing. We have to partner with the student. We have to listen to them. We have to acknowledge that they may have a different point of view, that you may not be right in their circumstances. And we have to respect differences of opinion. And then this next one, balance. So we're trying to advocate for a certain position. We want you to use technology in your classroom. And the teacher puts up the sign and says, no, back away. All right, so we have to figure out what's at the root of that. So we have to balance advocating for integrating technology and inquiry, finding out what's going on. So we want to, you know, kind of do almost counseling here, where we're listening actively and completely, And then we're trying to get to what is it that needs to change in order for you to be successful at this. You know, I think everybody in this group already realizes that if you're teaching adult education and you're not doing technology, you are not serving your students' best interests, because you can't get a job at McDonald's hardly without having some computer technology skills. Chris is gone. She had a meeting at 2.
Olga has to leave.
And Olga has to leave, too. That's okay. Bye. You can say bye before you go. And then the last one is ask. So ask questions, not only to uncover your partner's assumptions, but ask questions of yourself. Why am I assuming this? This is really important. And one of the hardest things in technology, bye, Alicia, is to make sure that you're not assuming people know things they don't know. And I am really guilty of this. I assume that something that's straightforward as entering a webinar. Okay, Denise, it'll be recorded. You guys can check it out later. But something as easy as recording a webinar can be difficult for somebody who doesn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay? And so you have to kind of take a step back and say, what am I assuming about my partner's knowledge base, their skill base, their interest level? Am I making too many assumptions about them? What am I assuming about myself that they're hearing me? And then this last one, and I'm sorry they left right before this, there's another really, really good book, and I'm sorry I got a very pixelated picture here, but it's The Leader's Guide to Coaching in Schools. Now, a lot of this is K-12-ish, but the second half of this book is phenomenal about coaching. And they come up on page 56 with the 8 steps of coaching. It starts with building trust and relationships, and then it goes through growth. Goals, what do you need to achieve? Reality, what is happening now? Options, how are we going to address it? And then will, which one of those options are we going to use? How and when are we going to do it? It's the T, tactics, and then habits, how will you sustain success after you implement this intervention? And then you celebrate the results. So that is, I think, one of the best models for coaching I've seen in a while. It used to just be the GROW model. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, they called it the GROW model, and now they call it the growth model, which I really like because it goes along with the growth mindset, not saying, no, you can't, figuring out how you can. And the goal, it says growth is the goal. So what we're really looking for is not sudden improvement. So if they're going from zero technology and you got them to use Remind to contact their students on their cell phones, okay, good. We have no hands-on to teach teachers how to be comfortable with technology. Right, there's not enough hands-on opportunity, so you really have to figure out how are they going to figure out how to do it if you're not there to show them how to do it. So this is another book. I don't have these in the library, but I think I might ask Paula to order a couple so that we can have them. Classroom visits and modeling. And you know what, David, one of the things that I love about one of the coaching models that I've seen is having the teacher model, you know, role play what exactly he or she is going to do in the classroom and having them rehearse it enough to where they're comfortable with what they're going to do. So modeling what you can go into their classroom and model how you would do it, but having them model it during a coaching session before they get in front of students. A lot of times, people who have not been using technology in classrooms, it's because they don't want to look like they don't know what they're doing in front of their students. Because, you know, I had a class last night, I'm teaching an ESL class, and I had a class last night where I had a great lesson plan, and the technology failed me. At every turn, it was like I did not pay my taxes to the tech gremlins, and they were out to get me. Yeah, how the traditional lesson can look using the class. We lost internet the other day, and the teachers, and my students thought the class would be canceled. Yeah, no, you know what I said to my students? Yeah, I told them last night, I said, okay, we're ditching the technology. Let's do something else. This isn't working, and we're going to do something else tonight. So then we just, you know, I had a plan B. You always have to have a plan B and a plan C. And I think, you know, when we're coaching people, I think it's important for them to see those times when we struggle. You can never replace a good human teacher. I agree, David. Having that one-on-one relationship with people is that building trust, that relationship. We are social beings. So the most important thing we can do with the people that we're coaching is to have them trust us. And that takes time. Oh, there's Liz. Oh, she was on the call with Anne Marie, I think. All right. It never works correctly when we have teacher training. I'm going to go back to that. Vicki says, throw it from there, okay. It never works completely when we have teacher training, which does not help to promote technology. I always use it as a teachable moment. I always say, you know, this is going to happen in your classroom. It's going to happen. That the technology, the internet's going to go down, the power's going to go out. And as much technology as I use in my classroom, I've always told my students, all I need is an apple tree and you guys. As long as and the apple tree is only because we're in Texas. I need to be under something when it's 100 degrees outside. But all you really need is a good teacher and students, and you can have a good class. But we want to use that technology when it's available. Troubleshooting, yes, troubleshooting. And how to think through those questions, David, I think you're right. How to think through the questions, okay, this isn't working, what could be wrong? And that is, 90% of being comfortable with technology is thinking, what do I do first if it's not working? How can I troubleshoot it? And then, if it's still not fixed, at what point do I cut bait? Let's switch. We're going to do something else because this isn't working. Especially when you have classes that are meeting 2 hours a night. You just can't spend an hour of that trying to fix the, exactly, Naomi, critical thinking. Students see the troubleshooting skills as important as well. I think so. Talk aloud as you're trying to do it. Okay, well, this isn't working. Let's try this. Yeah, right. So there's teachable moments. Uh-oh, I lost the projector. Hold on, I just have to reconnect it. Project. Oh, no, that's not that. That's, yeah. I have to disconnect it and reconnect it. I'm sharing the monitor with the conference room, and it decided to disconnect because I was talking about troubleshooting, right? I have a wireless connection. Tech literacy skills, yes. And, especially how the words that we use in troubleshoot, when we talk about connections and we talk about bandwidth and we talk about these different things that are not part of our regular day-to-day English, whether it's an ESL class or a literacy class. Okay, so the next steps in the tech integration pathway, you should be done with Apprentice 1 and 2. If you're not, no worries. Just get them done. Make sure you submit the test so that I know that you've done them, because I know a couple of people had issues. They didn't realize that they actually had to submit something to me, or I don't know that you've done anything. If you have problems with that, let me know, and I will get on a one-on-one with you to make sure you know how to do that. You're going to continue working through the pathway, but you're done with what, David? I'll look at yours later.
You're never done.
You're never done. I haven't even finished the last 3 yet. The pathway is the seven steps. Does everybody understand what I mean by the tech integration coach pathway? Oh yeah, Apprentice 1 and 2, you're done. Okay, no. So you must have come on after the original. Don't yell at you.
She's not yelling.
Not yet. Okay, so let me stop that for just a second. I'm gonna pull up the overview. I want to go in here, I think. I'm sorry, I wasn't meaning to yell. I get excitable. Highly excitable person.
Yeah, we know you're excited.
I'm a little excited. Let's see, right here. Badges by level. Where's the overview? Oh, that's the overview for coaches. Where's the regular overview? This one?
Overview version 2.
That might be it. Let's take a look. Okay, so you have 7 levels. So there's Apprentice 1, Apprentice 2, which most of you have finished, or almost finished, and then Journeyman 1, where a couple of you are now, and Journeyman 2. So the first 2 levels, Apprentice, are on the students. The second 2 are based on the standards for educators. The last 2 of these are the standards for coaches, and you have badges on those. So that's 5 and 6. And then 7 is when you become a master. The goal at the master level is that you are duplicating yourself. So you are actually creating tech coaches on your campuses in your local area. So that's the pathway. Is that clearer? Yepers? Okay. So when I say we're working up the pathway, the reason this is called a gamified badging system is because you guys have some options in some of the badges. There is a pathway. It will show up on your transcript, yes. I will assign it to you once you finish one. 1 and 2, I'll get you the next 2. Well, next one, because I haven't finished the second journeyman yet. I've only got 2 more things to think about. Anyway, the reason that it's gamified is you have options, you're getting feedback, you're having to have some choice in the matter, and you have the ability to fail, which, you know, I really hate to send you back something that says this isn't quite what it was looking for, but that's part of the gamified system. If you succeed all the time, it gets boring. Not for my sister, though. She finds all the cheat codes because she doesn't want to struggle through it. Naomi, why don't you give me a call after this, and we'll look and see where you are and what you need to do. And that goes for anybody. If you're not sure where you are and what you're supposed to be doing, please contact me. I will get on a phone call or a WebEx or whatever with you and make sure you know what your next steps are and what you're going to be doing. So wherever you are on the pathway, one of the things that you want to start doing is laying the groundwork to work with your teachers. Remember that, you know, cultivating that mutual respect, that partnership, so that they're going to trust you when you come and you start helping them with their technology. Now, for those of you who are further along, here's another thing. One of your tasks in Journeyman 2 is to present. You can get on the Tech and Tell schedule with Anne Marie to present on your favorite tech tool. I think she's already in the January schedule, so you want to do that sooner rather than later. I'm going to be presenting on Quizlet this week. Woohoo! I love Quizlet. Love Quizlet. I'm hoping to do one in January on Duolingo class. I don't know if you've ever used Duolingo classes. That's me, Ashley. You know me and Quizlet. We're like that. I have referred so many teachers to Quizlet, I'm no longer able to get any more of the free pro. You only get 6 months at a time, and then they said, thank you for referring another teacher, but unfortunately you've reached your maximum number of. Okay. And then Duolingo, I love Duolingo, but have you tried Duolingo class? Duolingo for schools. Because that's one, yeah, that one's really cool for ESL learners because I can push assignments to individuals. Or I can give them a points goal for the week. And so I can track their progress, which is really cool. Yeah, look it up for Duolingo for schools or something like that. But it's free to teachers, and all you have to do is get in there. Oh, how to screencast. Yeah, David. We had one on Screencastify a long time ago, but it was Kim Gates, and she does like 15 things in an hour. So if you could do just one basic screencast, that would be great. Google Sites is another good one, yeah. Is the Duolingo on the PC? No, I haven't done it yet, Naomi. You want to do it? You can check it out and try it out. No. Okay, just checking. All right, so I'm going to go back up to the top because we've only got about 15 minutes. So one of the other things I did want to do today, for those of you who came in late, I do want to make sure you know, you need to know the standards. But this question, so there you go. I'm going to, Tiffany, TCEA is doing their Google Certification Part 1 boot camp the first week of October. I'm going. Want to come? You can stay with me. So I hate going to places by myself. It's one of my challenges. So it seems like some of you know where you are on the Tech Integration Coaches pathway, and some of you do not. So if you do not know where you are, then I would actually ask you to get in contact with me. Okay. Yeah, you have to plan this thing so far in advance. Does anybody have a favorite task that they've done so far as part of your pathway badges? You're just beginning Journeyman 1, okay. Oh, as long as I've got you all, can I show you part of Apprentice 2 that some people have problems with is requesting the goal from me, the tech portfolio? Good, that's a good one. I was hoping everybody would enjoy doing that. One of my goals for that was that if you had to go somewhere else, you had something that you could take with you. Anything that involves creating something for a lesson plan. Yeah. I'm trying to make them, you know, applicable to classes. Anything else that was a favorite task? I like Code Academy, but I'm really kind of leaning towards Code Monkey. Has anybody played with the Code Monkey account? Yeah, Ashley, that's right, you did. For people who have no idea how a computer works, that is a great little game. Okay, what has been your least favorite task? What is something you really did not enjoy doing? The picture chart, yeah. I like, you know what my favorite part is when you guys share those and connect and I can see what everybody's doing. I think it gives other people good ideas. So keep sharing your projects in Connect, even if it doesn't specifically say share and connect. Oh yeah, dealing with you mean the stakeholder, trying to survey stakeholders, Ashley? Yeah, that was a tough one, but I think it's important. I may have to, you can always give me a proposal for how you want to change that particular one that fits with that aligned standard. Yes, keep sharing, yes. Okay, what has been your biggest challenge? What's made it difficult for you to move forward in the past? Picture chart is awesome. Okay.
Biggest challenge is time.
See, I said earlier when it first came on, you cannot say time.
It's time.
Time.
Yeah, she
Time.
to Liz.
Posting my links of
to
my
the
badges. Now, the ones
Yeah.
inside the portal are the ones you earn like on the North Star, Liz.
Wow. That was challenging.
Okay, North Star. So if those of you who are still in Apprentice 1, if you're having problems with North Star and you cannot get those badges to save, go ahead and submit the test and say, I'm having trouble saving the badges. And I can go on the back end of North Star, by the way, when we get to the point where you're mentoring teachers and coaching teachers. We're going to give you the back end of North Star so you can actually have your teachers do that to see where they are. Knowing when you're done with modules. Yeah, that was the navigation in the PD portal was a struggle for a couple of people. So you'll know pretty much when you're done because it'll have a check next to it. The problem is when you submit something and I have to actually get around to validating it. How do I get feedback from others? Okay, I want to show you guys all that because I think that's really important. Thank you, Michael. I stopped sharing my screen. That was a dumb thing to do. Let me try this again. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go onto the portal. Thank you guys so much for being flexible for today. I am so sorry again about the double booking myself. I think my computer's a little confused. There we go. That's a question I have to ask George. Now what am I doing? At the end of a complete section of the pathway, like Apprentice 1, you're going to get a Credly badge. If you don't get that, let me know, because that can go anywhere, and it is larger. It also lists everything you had to do to get that badge, and that's a public badge. Okay, so I'm going to go into my profile here. Maybe. Okay, there we go. All right, now there's a tab here that says feedback. So I could, for example, say create request. Please check out my poster in Connect. Here's the link. And then you can also ask for feedback. I want David Garza to give me feedback, and Vicki Sexton. And so I can just put their names in there. And then when I create that request, I want to make everyone or it's visible only to me. I can actually attach a file if I wanted to do the attach the file here, or add questions, specific questions that I want you to answer about it. So I could say, do you think the average low-level ESL student could understand it? Okay? And that's going to be a yes, no. Or you can do a rating 1 to 5, whatever you want to do. You can add another question. So I'm going to post that. And then what happens, I'm going to log in as David for a second. Oh, don't mess with me. Yeah. You just want to mess with me, don't you? There he is with his cute little avatar. I'm following you. You see that? I'm following you, David. Okay, then what happens on David's end is he gets a notification that I have requested feedback from him. I'm going to go in as him. Do what?
Nothing else.
And then if somebody has requested, you get an email notification, but also when you log in to the portal on your front page, you have view feedback requests down here on the left. That's like you're pending. That should be done. Okay, so that's how you, if you want to get specific feedback from on a specific project from any of the tech coaches, not just me, but any of the ones that you want to share with, that you've talked to and connect, you can do that. Does that help? Let me log back out as you get out of David's. Oh no, it's just that's that drop down for WebEx. I won't get it. It's just in my way. Okay. Okay, let's see. Was there anything else in the chat as far as the biggest challenge? What badge was which?
The final badge that you were talking about. You said if you haven't received it, let me know. I'm not sure which badge you were referring to.
Yeah, it's given to you on Credly. So it looks identical. So I'll go to mine. And I haven't finished Apprentice 2. Don't judge me. Okay. No, snapshots. Snapshots where your badges are. If you didn't know. Okay, so, no, I want my snapshot. Snapshot. What's my computer? You can still provide, if it's open to everybody, Armando, you can still provide feedback, but you can also, as the person requesting, specify specific people that you want. It could be your manager or a coworker or anybody. Okay, so the badge for the level, so you know these little tiny badges are really just letting you know that I've looked at it and you've gotten that activity done. These badges that actually have the name of the level on it, in addition to the one here in the portal, you should get a notification by email that there's one on Credly for you, because Credly is an external site that you can carry with you anywhere you go. Any other challenges? And I just want to say, too, if you guys have questions at any time, you can email me or get on the phone with me, and I'll be happy to talk with you. because we're almost to the point where you're going to do some training and do some actual coaching. So whatever I can do to help along the way, you're going to have to let me know. Do you have any greatest successes? Anything that you tried that was just worked out really well? The hate speech video. Oh, that was a really good video. That was a collaborative activity you did with Krista, right? The Google lesson plan? Okay, cool. Ashley took off on HyperDocs. I didn't think she was ever coming back to Earth. She went hyperspeed. Still there. So one of my goals for the first couple of levels is just to make sure you guys have a good toolkit and that you have a wide range of things that you can pull from. Your portfolio, yeah. Your portfolios have been pretty impressive. Everybody's has been really impressive. Just remember, if you're sharing something from Google Drive on your portfolios and you don't have it available to be viewed by anyone, when you put it into your portfolio or your website, I can't see it. It always says ask for permission. So if you're going to post it in your digital portfolio, make sure that you set that document visible to anyone. Do you have any questions for me? My greatest success, who is this? Who was that? It was too fast. Oh, Tiffany. My greatest success is that I completed apprenticeship level and now onto journeyman level. Woohoo! The portfolio is great now and I embedded it into my Google Sites. Way to go, Tiffany. Is the HyperDoc in the community, Ashley? I know they're on the links. She put a bunch of them on links and got hooked into doing a whole bunch of stuff. Huh. There we go. Okay, so I just have a couple of announcements while you guys are thinking if you have any more questions for me. I will have Journeyman 2 ready by October 1st, because I only have like 2 more things to figure out and it'll be ready to go. TCEA 2018 in Austin is now open for registration. I would suggest if you have any PD money, then that would be a place to go. It's just incredible. Oh, Vicki, yours looks cute. I like your portfolio. And they're doing, oh, Rita and Ashley are doing a Tech and Tell on HyperDocs in October. Sometimes simple is best. When you look at the design principles, sometimes it's better to be a little bit more simple. So TCEA, February 5th through 9th. Of course, TCEA has lots of webinars. Check out the website, the tcall.tamu.edu website on their distance learning. I've posted all of the regional conferences, including one in El Paso, one in Lubbock, and one up in Kilgore. So you need to look and see. Are we having anything at Taylor? Well, you know, that's a good question, Tiffany. We should get together at Taylor. We should try and get together at Taylor. But I also have a strand. Everybody, well, you have one of your things for Journeyman 2 is going to be to present. So instead of doing a Tech and Tell, you could present at Taylor, do a tech integration piece at Taylor. But I think we should have like a luncheon or a dinner or something to get us all together. What do you guys think? I could talk to Taylor about having you recognized for the badges you burned. Yeah, okay. We'll try and figure out something for Taylor then. And then the last thing, you need to put this on your calendar. February 16th, 2018 is our 3rd annual Tech and Distance Learning Symposium at Region 20 in San Antonio. So one day, it's a Friday. We're going to do it differently this year. We're doing a call for proposals. I'll be sending that call for proposals out probably tomorrow, maybe later today. We already have the form ready to go. So I expect everybody who can make it to that symposium to submit a proposal. She's going to post to her website for the HyperDocs. And then keep in mind that there is no registration fee for the Region 20, the Tech and DL Symposium. So all you have to do is be able to pay for travel. And I just, honestly, even though San Antonio is, almost an hour and a half where we go to, is almost an hour and a half from my house, I'm just going to drive. So I have an extra room if anybody doesn't mind cats and dogs. I would love to see your proposals. I would love this group to be the group that's doing a lot of the presenting there on your favorite tools or classroom practices or anything like that. Always looks good on your CV. It'll be due on October 15th. I'm only giving you 2 weeks to come up with a proposal. You got 2 weeks. Because I know how this works. They give us 6 months. We still wait till the day the proposal is due to write it. So I'm just giving you 2 weeks. That way I can tell you by December 1st if your proposal has been accepted or not, before you go out for winter, and then you can plan ahead. I'm not sure that North Star is going to present, but I think we are going to have a presentation on North Star. Deb is trying to get Mobile Beacon there. By the way, did you guys see the notification from Mobile Beacon that they have a grant out right now for impact that'll let you get up to 20 laptops and remote devices to make an impact in your communities? So that's a grant you might want to look at. Mobile Beacon. We're also trying to get everyone on to come in as a vendor so you can talk to them, because it's another good resource for where we don't have a lot of tech. And our regular distance learning vendors will be there. They're the ones that pay, so they pay for our lunch, basically. On what, Naomi? Find information on the symposium?
The grant.
On the grant. Thank you.
Beacon.
Mobile Beacon, yeah. Go to Mobile Beacon's website. I can forward it to you guys if you want me to. I got it in my email, and I was debating whether I was going to apply for it or not. The last time I got 20 laptops from somebody, it was not worth the 20 laptops I got and the amount of paperwork it required. I'll put it in the community of practice. I'll just forward the email to the community of practice, okay? So in Connect, I'll put it in Connect in the Tech Integration Coaches area. All right, well, our time is up. Thank you for your hour. I appreciate it so much. I hope that you remember the coaching pieces, and I hope you've been enjoying the pathway and that we're going to get you through. Don't worry about how fast or how slow you're going through. Everybody will get through if you don't quit. Same thing I used to tell my English learners. Everybody will learn English if you don't quit. If you quit, I can't help you. So just hang in there. We'll get through it. You know where to find me. I'll put my email here in case you have forgotten. But you can find me here most days of the week. If you try to call me, half the time I don't answer the phone when it's my mom, so good luck. But you can try. Texting me works sometimes if I'm sitting at a computer.
True that.
Only if I'm sitting at a computer. If I'm at the computer, I don't see it. All right, I'm going to close the room. You guys have a great rest of your day.